Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dude and dudettes. I am Matt Burns, and once again, as always, he is my partner in crime. He is the right-hand man of the burning truth. He is John Below.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. And you know we're not going to be partners in crime too much longer if you keep announcing said crime on a national, in fact, worldwide broadcast. Yeah, crime is supposed to be something we do in secret.
It is, but the difference is they've got to know what crime we've done.
Touché, Cecil. Right. Aha! Okay. Well, yeah, we are here. It is the burning truth, which, you know what that means?
Yeah.
Two things. One, bloody hell, another week has passed already. And two, get ready for some top-notch, soon-to-be award-winning, wrestling-related rambling.
Yes, because this isn't going to be your typical regular episode.
You're quite right. Sorry, I was having a coughing fit there, hence the slight pause.
Not to worry, not to worry. And
luckily, I managed to reach the mute button, so that's good.
Professionalism at its best. But anyway, let's just state this: it's going to be not our usual, usual episodes that we normally do. And as we stated on the previous week, we did state that we would be pulling away from the weekly news stuff as much as possible.
Yeah, not just reacting to news articles directly necessarily, just talking about wrestling and, seeing where it takes us.
But there may be the occasional one that fits in.
Yes. I mean, like today, for example, there are the odd couple of news things that we need to cover, some of which, professionalism alert, even link back to last week. But generally speaking, we're just going to be talking about wrestling. And... yeah, let's see what it throws up.
And with all of that, as soon as the introduction is now done, shall we get on to our usual once per week thing?
You make it sound like you really don't enjoy it, but I know deep down that you do.
Oh, no. That's why I actually do enjoy it. That's why I'm saying our usual once per thing.
I see. I wasn't sure, you see, but fair enough. Okay, then. With that in mind... the warning, bear with me. The following program may contain discussions on wrestling, which will contain potentially strong language and opinions which are not suitable to the easily offended, the younger listener, or other listeners. This program may also contain strobe lighting effects.
And additionally, some of the topics may have, some of the actual topics may actually have opinions from the Burning Truth, which we will state they are the Burning Truth opinions and not facts.
Yes, and also, if they're incredibly controversial opinions, we will state they are not even necessarily the opinion of the Burning Truth, but simply the person, I'll be honest, usually me, stating them.
Or the odd occasion me.
Depends what particular soapbox we've each got out on any particular week. But yeah, that's the general idea. So we don't set out to turn the air blue, but occasionally topics make us angry, and we're not one of these prissy anti-censorship things. If we feel the need to use language that may offend the easily offended, we will, but we try and warn you in enough advance that you can put your things in your ears and hum for a couple of minutes if that is not your idea of entertainment, because, want to cover all bases. And I'm going to carry on talking because it would appear to me that Matt Burns is temporarily doing something and can't respond. I'm not sure if he's having a drink, if he's rearranging his desk, if he's found a lucky charm at the end of the rainbow.
No, nothing like that.
But he's back. Oh, lovely.
Nothing like that. I just quickly remembered something that we definitely need, and immediately realised. Oh dear, we definitely need the certain item, especially for one of the topics that we're going to be covering.
Oh, okay. Hang on. The item that we might need. Soapbox?
Nope.
No. Key to the room, which is full of Booker T's candles? No.
God damn it!
I don't know what this item is. Do put me out of my misery.
We'll get to it when we come to it. Otherwise, it wouldn't have done us any favours.
I see.
But anyway, let's just get this out the way, because this is, well, not out the way. This is important. This is something that we have been regularly stating every week and will continue to do so going forward. Both myself and JB, and more importantly, the Burning Truth, are in full support of Black Lives Matter and, of course, hashtag speaking out. Anyone who has been affected by these topics are more than welcome to state their voices and, discussions and opinions in regards to it. However, anything to do with accusations as such, and let us just state, if it is an opinion from somebody in regards to the topic, it will be their opinion, and if there's any accusations, or if attempted to have thrown any accusations, that will not be on the air, because we don't want any accusations being thrown out, because unless without evidence as such, we feel as though any accusations should be reported immediately to the relevant authorities.
And although it may seem slightly glib to just state in bold terms, basically we want to deal in facts. Any accusations that might be possibly true but might not be and might need to be investigated further. Potential gold mine? No, wrong thing entirely. Landmines that we want to avoid. So if you want to speak out with the truth, that's fine. But yeah,
but
any
at the same time,
we need to go through a bit carefully. So
there is that, and also additionally, if there is any ongoing investigations, we don't be affecting them as well.
Oh, absolutely, because of course anything that we say could affect those investigations, and that's the last thing we want.
Correct. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be an unusual episode because we've got some unfortunate news, we've got an update, and then we've got a bit of a free-for-all on the topics.
Ah, yeah.
And we'll get to the free-for-all, because that is going to be the main section, pretty much, for this week's episode. You might, if you've already seen the description on the, either on Spreaker or on YouTube or wherever you're listening to us, you may already have an idea what we're referring to. But anyway,
I just left a dramatic pause there because I didn't think that something glib was necessarily the right thing to say at that point. But yes, you may.
Pretty much. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have to get to the unfortunate and be the bearer of bad news. And I tried my best to not sound like a certain Wade Barrett.
Yes, because this is not, as just stated by me, this is not something that's glib and done for your entertainment. This is genuinely tragic and sad. So, yeah.
Unfortunately, this week, the wrestling world, and more importantly, the British wrestling world, lost
a legend. There's no two ways about it.
An iconic, a legend, and it's just, I didn't see it coming. Genuinely,
I don't think anyone did, and I think that possibly makes it sadder, to be honest.
In case if anybody wants to know who we're referring to, would you do the honours, please, JB?
Okay. Sadly, we are referring to the passing of Mark Rollerball Rocco, who, as you all know, World of Sport era mainstay of British wrestling in this country, and somewhat outspoken defender of it ever since.
Yeah, and the odd thing about it is, when he was wrestling, he was the villain of villains. He was the man that everyone paid their money to see get beat up. He was vicious. He was malicious. And yet, outside of wrestling, one of the most genuine, nicest people you could ever meet. Always had time for you, and always had an ear available for anyone willing to either listen or almost like he was always there ready for stories or to even pass on some amazing wisdom to young,
Absolutely.
fresh talent.
Always had the time for, like you said, either to tell a great story of something he did, which the young talent may not believe, or in a Dusty Rhodes or William Regal style to pass off a small, tiny little fraction of all the things he's learned in his long career, in the hope that anyone who's listening might, learn something from it.
Yeah, almost like come on under the learning tree.
Yes.
But
Indeed.
anyway.
So it is with great sadness that we report that he has died. It's a real shame.
And with that, the Burning Truth is going to do a 5-bell salute.
Okay.
I'll explain what I was referring to earlier as well after the salute. And there we give tribute to Mark Rollerball
Rocco. Our condolences to his friends and family at this difficult time. And may he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace, especially to, and also his fellow work colleagues and, other family, being the wrestling family as well.
The wrestling family, yeah. And anyone who knew him.
In case anybody was wondering why I suddenly had a bit of an odd moment earlier on the episode.
The one briefly where I had to fill, yeah, please do explain.
I think what we just had to what you've just heard.
Yeah, you were. I hadn't to believe that you hadn't planned for the salute, and so you were. It was like one of those moments where Bailey's randomly put a referee shirt on, counted to 3, and shouts, "Ring the bell," and nothing happens. You didn't have a bell handy.
I did. I just didn't have it to hand right there and then.
Yeah,
but I had to grab one. Because there was definitely no way I was missing this tribute. Definitely.
Exactly. Quite right too. Right. And as somber as that is, we must move on. And
ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the next case of subject, which is update.
Oh yes. Would this be an update on a situation which I honestly can't remember? I was going to say I can't remember if we talked about last week or the week before, but I wasn't on the week before, so it must have been last week.
It was last week.
Regarding a certain former, but longest reigning NXT champion in history.
That it would do, actually.
Mm.
That it would do. This is in regards to the interview that actually occurred, that we covered, that was between Pat McAfee and Adam Cole.
Yes.
We actually threw it out on our social media. And ladies and gentlemen, we even actually had some response.
We did. Sorry to sound shocked and surprised like that's an unusual occurrence, but we did.
That we did.
Would you care to go into detail?
I believe that we actually had someone by the name, I'm literally getting up, on Instagram who states by the handle of Outspoken Max.
Bet they're a quiet and unassuming chap.
I will state this. I know who this person is, and an absolute amazing person. He is a pro wrestling referee. Part of he's a North Wales wrestling dojo trainer, and a former Welsh, English, and British World United Martial Arts Federation champion as well.
So just a bit talented then.
So you may know a few things.
And he has got in touch with us regarding the Adam Cole incident. Is that what you're saying? Or he has spoken out? He's got in touch with us direct, or he's just spoken out generally?
He literally put a comment on it, stating on it. I literally stating, when I asked her, is this a work? Was this a shoot? Let us know your thoughts are in the comments below. And lo and behold, he literally went, of course it was.
And yet, the update, the evidence of the past week suggests...
Wait.
Was it?
Wait. He literally just went, of course it was. Slight problem there. We literally stated, was this a work? Was this a shoot? Which one is it? But anyway, he did
I see what he did there.
Yes.
Yes.
However, he did throw up a... It's a work. No professional would flip out that easily.
However, instance of the past week would imply...
Oops.
Yeah, perhaps not. However, it did give off that air. It did make you think, well, if he's done that to that little provocation, he must be very angry and very shouty 90% of the time, which, sorry, but I've seen lots of Adam Cole interviews and he's just not.
No, he's not. It just seems like it might have been a rare moment. However, a statement was actually released out on Twitter from Adam Cole where he did actually put out an apology and everything. I believe that Triple H even stated, even had a bit of an interview with Pat McAfee where, he literally stated, in regards to, they had the discussion in regards to the tweet. Pat McAfee was actually asking about it, in which Triple H did state, he's probably, he's clearly apologising for a mistake, and Pat even turned around and said, water under the bridge, no harm, no foul. Would love to have him back on the show, and hopefully, clear the air.
Sounds absolutely plausible to me. Sounds like it was just one of those things. I don't think it was a work at all. And I don't think it's going to have any lasting effects, to be honest.
However, you're guaranteed that someone's probably got their mind saying, could this still be a work? You know that there's people still thinking it's a work.
Oh, people will always think that, won't they? It's just how people's
account.
Minds work. They're conditioned into thinking that absolutely everything is, even sometimes when it's been fairly conclusively proved. No, mate, no, it really isn't.
Where can we use that evidence of where people still don't know if it's real or not? Is there any moments in wrestling where we could actually state that we don't know for sure if it was real or not?
Yes, there are plenty, but I can't read your mind.
Anywhere in Montreal, maybe. In case anyone
You mean
doesn't...
about roughly 23 years ago?
You see what you I take it you saw what I was referring to?
Yes,
of course. Anybody who's knowledgeable in the wrestling world, and in case you don't know and been under a complete absolute wrestling world rock,
you are referring to the moment when far too many people became far too familiar with the name Earl Hebner for the wrong reasons.
Oh dear.
Oh, come on. You didn't expect me to be serious, did you?
Oh, come on.
More time has been spent by more podcasts, magazines, news articles, television programs, wrestlers, theorists, podcasts, magazines, podcasts, people who don't really know or care, but they're thinking they could weigh in with their 2 cents just because it might get them some airtime about the Montreal Screwjob. That mean we do not need to add our 2 cents worth.
Pretty much. I thought you were doing a bit of a Chris Jericho there. A bit like podcast. I thought you were doing like armbar just with the word
Podcast
podcast.
becomes the new armbar. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah. I might add that to my list of things that I just randomly say for no apparent reason.
Even though we are a broadcast.
Possibly.
/ podcast. So it works.
We are a multimedia professional wrestling broadcast podcast extraordinaire.
You make us sound so sophisticated.
Yeah. Well, I try my best. Everything else that I say kind of undermines that, but I do try.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get down to business. The main topic of this week's episode.
Which is...
completely off the cuff.
Yeah, basically, we're just going to talk about wrestling and see where it takes us. Initially, I would like to get a point raised, which will require... So, what was that guy's name that spoke about the Adam Cole incident? Let's use him as a positive example.
Pat McAfee.
No, not the other. No, the person that got in touch with us about it.
Oh, you're on about Outspoken Max.
Yes. If you would like to follow in his footsteps, or indeed if you're him and you would like to comment again, this is the sort of thing that, if it's us two talking about it, it's just us giving you our opinions. But if you get involved, it becomes a conversation, and that helps.
It does.
WWE has lost its way designing its championships, and the last 3 that it has either introduced or replaced are hideous.
Really?
Yes.
Which ones would you be referring to?
The one where, when it was revealed, I was like, "Oh, yeah, it's got a green strap. WWE needs to do more green." That's just a dinner plate with some engraving on it. That's terrible.
With the word 24 on it.
24 and a slash and 7, and it's awful. And frankly, okay, fair enough. It was never intended to be a desperately serious championship. It's basically a TV PG-13 hardcore championship. But
I don't even think Jack Bauer could pull it off.
The title is... The actual championship is dreadful. Did you know I once basically made... You know, when you're a little kid, or in my case, a student at university, and you make your own replica title belt that you draw on a piece of cardboard or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once made an epic replica of the old 24/7 hardcore championship on a piece of cardboard with felt tip pens. That would have been a better championship for R-Truth to keep winning than that green and gold monstrosity that he has to currently carry around. Even though it was made out of
the current one.
Even though it was made out of a cornflake box, it would still have been a better representation. I know he's not the current champion, but yeah, you get my point.
I may have to shock you.
Holding 39-time champion, so...
Yes, he is. But I don't think he is the current holder.
Fair enough. Anyway, talk amongst yourselves about how horrible the championship is while I Google that.
You really don't know who it is?
I haven't looked today.
Shelton Benjamin was the last one that I know of.
Yeah. Oh, well, I knew he was. I thought you were saying that as though someone else has won it since.
No, I was referring to Shelton Benjamin being the current.
Right, well, you are wrong. Because the current champion is R-Truth. For the 37th time.
What?
According to Wikipedia. Hold on. Title history. Diddly-do. I'm scrolling through because the championship's only been in offer a year.
It's going to be last week's Raw, isn't it?
100 champions. No, you see, according to the initial page, it says R-Truth in his 37th reign is the current champion. And then on number 100, July 20th, 2020, Raw, Shelton Benjamin won backstage. So the whole article has got itself tied in knots.
Oops.
Yeah.
I knew I was right.
Way. Point being, that's one of the 3 latest. That's an outright new championship where they had a blank slate, and that's the best thing.
And also another point why you shouldn't always follow Wikipedia.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, by all means, use it to get information, but don't use it as your single and only source, because that's just asking for trouble. Correlate. Use at least 4 different sources.
and maybe WWE.com.
Well, they would be the know-all, wouldn't they, bearing in mind it's their championship.
Just a bit.
But anyway, yes, much like when a load of people from the world of Formula One went, hello, Abu Dhabi. Yes, we will take your billion US dollars of oil money, and we will get our architects to build you a racetrack out of the sand and nothingness that's there. Mm-hmm. Oh, look! We've built an absolute monstrosity. It's called Yas Marina, and it's basically everything that's wrong with Formula One racetracks. Much like that, WWE had a clean slate with the 24/7 Championship, and they made a monster.
At least that one has actually got a bit of a humour twist to it.
It has.
Mm-hmm.
How so?
The fact that R-Truth is the only one who keeps winning it, and is probably outdoing Jerry Lawler and Ric Flair's title reigns.
I think the target is Jerry Lawler. I believe, the 47-time Southern Heavyweight Champion in Memphis Wrestling. I think that's what R-Truth is aiming for. He's only 10 off already, so it won't...
I know, scary.
Give it to the end of the year.
Give it to the end of the week, maybe.
Well, it depends how schizophrenic the writer for the 24/7 Championship is feeling.
Or if he's feeling like he's going, switch.
Yes. But anyway, point being, that championship is horrible. And recently, WWE has rebranded, reimagined, and updated both of its... I don't like this phrase, mid-card championships, but that's what they are. And both the new titles are a massive backward step. The Intercontinental Championship started it first. It looks like an 8-year-old drew it on their lunch break. It's got all the charisma
I don't think... Right.
Something with no charisma. Nigel Mansell, for example. And it's dreadful. And then the new, not even official yet, because I haven't been keeping up with Raw, I don't know, but is MVP the official champion yet? Or are they still doing a dual champions thing? Anyway, the new United States Championship is, I understand where they're going with it. They're going back more towards a traditional metallic design and less like the platework in red, white, and blue, but it's just hideous.
I can see why you might not like the US title. The Intercontinental title, I'm going to defend it a little bit.
Please do.
Because the Intercontinental title, I think, has got more... It does have more of a world title vibe to it a little bit, because it reminds me of the Progress Pro Wrestling Championship one.
Yeah, it does be, but not in a good way.
But at the same time, I also think the Intercontinental Championship also looks out of place compared to all the other freaking belts that we've got.
I agree, but how do you think it does?
The fact that you've got the main two championships, red leather, black leather, red leather, black leather. Oh no, red and blue leather. My mistake. Yeah. And then you've got that one. And then you've got the
tag team titles are also red or blue, depending on whether they're on Raw or SmackDown.
Yep. The women's are both white, but with red and blue background.
Yeah.
And
the women's tag team are also white.
Looks like
the women's tag team is also white, which is good because that fits in with the singles titles. That's cool.
Yep. It looks different.
Yeah.
The new United States Championship does actually make it stand out like the United States Championship, but I can see they were trying to do the same with the United States Championship, but I think the United States Championship did a better job, whereas that's got more colour to it, whereas the Intercontinental Championship's just black and gold.
Yeah, and the worst part is it's just... The whole point of the Intercontinental Championship is it should have a globe on it somewhere. And there's one on either side of the new belt, but they're relegated right to the edges. And basically, the entirety of that circle that says Intercontinental Champion on it should be a globe with a little bit of detail within it. Because that's the whole point of that title. That's what it's always been. That's what it was when they stretched it out for the Attitude Era one. That's what it was when they went back to the pre-Attitude Era one that Cody Rhodes reintroduced. Yeah, okay, I get why they're not using that anymore because of the association. But why couldn't they go back to the Attitude Era one?
No idea.
You know what I mean, with the blue on it?
No idea. Oh, wait. I say no idea, although I do actually have a full, real idea why.
Why is that?
They can't go back to the old school white one because who brought it back for WWE?
Cody Rhodes, I just mentioned this, yes.
And the old school Attitude one you're referring to, aren't you?
Yep.
Who won it the most times?
Yes, so...
What
So
what
what you're basically saying is, because it's synonymous with being brought back by Cody Rhodes, and the previous one was constantly and frequently and most often won by Chris Jericho.
Yep.
Oh dear, we've got to have a bloody tinfoil piece of nondescript nonsense instead.
I'm just saying a theory. That's not a fact. It's just a theory. Sorry to quote, borrow the quote from a certain YouTube series.
Yeah. But like I say, I'm just looking at all three next to each other. The blue Attitude Era one,
Yes.
the white belt of the previous one before that Cody Rhodes brought back, and the new one, and I look at it and I think, classic. Basically, who designed that, and were they related to, or were they actually Ray Charles or Stevie Wonder? It's got no defining features. It's just someone's gone, quick, I need a championship. Just draw one. Just draw shapes and fill them in and hope for the best. And it's
so basically, you're wondering if the designer was very superstitious.
I wasn't. No. But would you like to elaborate on why that is?
Think about it. The singer you referenced.
Yes. Okay, I'm with you now.
There you go.
Okay, the penny has dropped. But I also happen to think that the United States title.
That's where I disagree with you.
Classic design. I like it. All they had to do was update it so that it had the modern thing of, what's the word? Interchangeable nameplates at the side. Yeah. But keep the red, white, and blue. I like the red, white, and blue. The fact that it wasn't largely gold because it had the flag in the background, that made it stand out.
Yeah.
Now it's just a piece of gold.
Not all of it's gold. It does have the United States American flag in the background. It does. I actually think it looks quite illuminating, and it does actually stand out. You might think it's for the wrong reasons. I don't. I think it does look better than the version that Apollo Crews has.
Yeah.
And not the original. But if I had to have a choice of which version I would like back for the United States Championship, and this might actually be an odd one, I wouldn't mind to have seen the old school WCW one.
The WCW United States Championship.
The old one, but updated for WWE.
That couldn't be a bad thing. I'm just looking for a picture of that now. Yeah, oh, wow. Now, I've just seen an image of a potential title that absolutely is basically the best of both worlds. It's like the WCW one. It's like what they're trying to do with the WWE updated one. And it's 1,000 times better than anything else they could have offered. And the only downside with it is it's silver, not gold. Otherwise, design-wise, It's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
And
Although I don't mind a good silver championship though.
it's silver, but it has gold details, so it works. You
No,
know?
I think that might work, Dan.
Yeah. Hold on a minute. I will send it to you. Sorry, people listening at home. I know I can't send it to you, but it is what it is.
Although we could actually send it out, on
Well, you
social
can put
media,
it out
possibly.
once I've sent you the image, by all means.
Possibly. But I might save that for during the week, not straight
Yeah,
away.
that works. But if you just go to the popular messaging service, which we use to talk to each other about the show, you'll be able to see the picture. That I could get behind.
Side plates, no. Main section, yes.
Yeah, but side plates interchangeable for the champion. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely fine.
Two of the plates on the side would just need to be changed for the put the for the name change.
Yeah.
Like how you got on all the belts now. And yeah, that
See
would
what I mean?
be.
I think that is a nice compromise between. Thank you, whoever on the internet designed it. A nice compromise between the original WWE one, the WCW one, and what WWE were trying to do but failed with the new WWE one.
That could be an interesting one for us to put out on social media and see what. But I will have to add on in the description at least two of the side plates being for the name plates
Yes.
for the updated versions, which is interesting. Very interesting.
I've seen a couple of other images of potential designs, which I may.
However, we will be there all day.
Yeah, we will. But anyway, the point of this little rant is I don't like the new design. A couple of years ago, what was it now? It's getting on for 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
When WWE unveiled possibly the best championship design in their current lineup, which is the now NXT United Kingdom Championship. I thought, you know what? They've turned a corner here. That's amazing. And then they revamped the NXT Championships and frankly made them better. The North American one, not a huge fan of that, but it's all right.
I actually like it because it is different. It does stand out.
Can't argue with that. The main NXT titles, okay, but generally speaking, WWE is about 50-50 now. For every good one, the main NXT Championship, there's a bad one, the North American. For every great one, the WWE Championship, there's it's all right. The main WWE Championship, it's okay. It gets the point across which company it's for, but it's a little bit generic. And then there's just the tag team titles, which are just outright terrible.
Well, it depends on which brand you're on, because one's bronze and the other one's silver.
I think they're both silver now, but I think the SmackDown ones have blue leather and the Raw ones have red.
My mistake. I believe you were right.
Originally, they were bronze with black leather when they briefly only had one set of championships.
Yes.
But whatever colour the centre plates are, I don't like them. It's just me. I'm not alone in that. I know plenty of people on the internet have voiced their displeasure over time, but
although it's not the worst.
No. So here's the question that I can pose that people can join in if they so wish, and you can give your 2 pence worth as well, Matt Burns. What makes a good championship design?
That's a good topic, but here's an additional one for you. What is one of the worst design championships you've come across?
There's some contenders there, isn't there? I can name 3 off the top of my head, above any of the ones I've already mentioned today.
Ooh.
And that would be the WWE ECW Championship.
Oh, that's bad.
Yep. The TNA X Division Championship with the big blue random X in it.
Oh, that's bad.
And here's one that might annoy a few people.
Go on.
The original NWA Heavyweight Championship.
Disagree.
Globe on it and the off-center United States flag.
I disagree with that. That is homage, respect, and everything. However,
Oh, hold on.
I can think of two that you've actually missed off.
I've just thought of another one.
Go on.
The Divas Championship.
Damn it, you got one of them.
Quite possibly, in anyone with eyes, is top 5 worst championships of all time, ever.
You've got one of the ones I was just about to state.
Yeah.
However, you haven't got the one I think is the worst.
The worst wrestling championship in the history of anything.
That I think.
Ever. Personally.
And I am so glad it was a short-lived one. So glad.
The WWF Light Heavyweight Championship.
Nope.
The Ring of Honor Pure Championship.
Nope, I like that one.
I like that one, but I'm just trying to think of short-lived titles. The Ring of Honor Television Championship. That's not
and it was part of TNA/Impact Wrestling.
Oh, was it that really weird? We've got a spare belt lying around. Let's just throw it at someone and call it. Was it the Grand Championship or something odd like that?
Oh, that's a good contender, but far worse.
I'm struggling to look beyond that god-awful X Division rebrand that didn't work. But
when I state this, I want to hear JB's shock and horror.
You tell me what it is, and then brace yourself for 3 seconds while I type it into Google and get an image up. It was
the Immortal Impact Wrestling Championship, the one that they gave to Jeff Hardy when he had turned villain and joined Immortal.
Oh, you mean the one that sort of has what I believe was an attempt at making Jeff Hardy's face on it?
Yes, but it looked more like the Divas Championship.
Yeah, I was going to say, here's what happened here. The 24/7 Championship and the Divas Championship had a child, and that was this thing.
Mixed with on Jeff Hardy's face.
Yes.
Yeah. And that is not us disrespecting Jeff Hardy's looks in any shape, way, or form.
Absolutely not. But yeah, it's
bad.
It's pretty awful. Oh, I've come up with another one.
Go on.
Because it was just basically big letters.
Go on.
And nothing else. The Taz FTW Championship.
You mean the one that's on AEW now?
Is it?
Yeah. Brian Cage has it.
I did not know that, but fair enough.
I actually think it looks not too bad.
Well, no, the original one that was basically just an old ECW title that Taz had put tape over and then put FTW over the top of what was already there was terrible. But they've redesigned it since, and
yeah,
it's not bad now. But no, I'm talking solely about the original one, which, much like the original Hardcore Championship, which was originated from being a broken WWF Eagle Championship belt that they just stuck stickers on. The original one where Taz just put gaffer tape over an old ECW title and put FTW on it in red marker pen. That was awful. That's the one I'm referring to.
No, I'm okay with that one because that was more so for the storyline that it suited.
Oh, fair enough.
Because that actually has more of a storyline skeptical behind it. Because I thought that was more interesting because you got Shane Douglas, who was ducking, dodging and diving out of Taz's way, not wanting to defend the championship against Taz, and Taz had to make his own belt to state, you have to be the baddest man on the planet to have this championship, because we all know that Shane Douglas is scared of him. That was the story behind that. So the story outweighs the look of it, I think. By far.
I see. Oh, also, Here's a question for you, because I know it's contentious, because I know a lot of people hate it, but also a lot of people have reverence for it. Mainly people who still, 20 years later, can't let go and refer to themselves for some bizarre reason as WCW fans. What's your opinion on the big gold title? The one that served as the WWE World Heavyweight Championship after WCW closed until the Universal Championship was created. Well, that wasn't the searing, I bloody hate it reaction I was hoping for. Never mind.
No.
But what is your opinion of it? Because I know that it was considered overly large by lots of people, ridiculously gaudy if you look at it too closely.
No, but at the same time, take into account who actually helped put towards that championship belt.
Yeah.
If you know the story.
Is it the story of... Is it basically the Ric Flair one? Or is that the
That
NWA?
would be the story. That
I
would
see.
be the story.
Would you care to remind everyone of it, just in case they're not aware?
I would, but he did actually help, with, put towards the belt when he was the champion, and I think it actually stands out more so because it was flashy, it was different. Because yes, you had WWE with the the whole logo all over it and everything, but a lot of people can say it's too goldy, it's too thingy, it's too sparkly, it's not it. I think with the big gold belt, it kept to one thing. One rule in wrestling that still stands to this day. Keep it simple.
Yes, well, that's true. I think that's something that WWE try and do with the current Universal and WWE Championships. Because they were wondering where to go from the big gold title and, well, that thing that, thanks to John Cena, was the championship for 10 years.
It wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't that bad, but it was far too complicated, is my point.
No, it wasn't it wasn't that bad.
New ones
It just
rectify
needed
that.
to be changed when somebody else had it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dwayne.
Yes.
But anyway.
But yeah, but the point is, like many things, championship design is subjective, but I personally think WWE is going down the wrong route with its second-tier titles. And I'd love to know if you strongly agree or disagree with me, those listening.
Same here. And I've got one more topic to discuss, and this is and it's something that I have actually just thought of on the spot. It does actually contain some in regards to this week. And get the polish out.
For the old soapbox.
Please. Because this is going to be a damn well continuation from a rant that I actually produced from last week.
Oh dear. Right, the soapbox is thoroughly polished. First of all, if you'd like to just mention what it was that we talked about last week, and then take it away.
This was in regards to the previous week where you've got Sasha, who had actually stolen Asuka's championship during the pay-per-view in that cluster of a mess of a finish.
In that, I like the idea, but the execution sucked kind of moment.
The promo I literally ranted about.
Yeah.
Which was for Stephanie, who decided to aim that you can lose the championship via pinfall, submission, but also count out and disqualification. Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Huh?
Weird.
Now, but then also decreed that Asuka didn't defend her championship, supposedly, because the match didn't quite finish. But the question is, I literally asked last week, why the hell was Stephanie stating that rule to Sasha? Yes, Sasha was holding the damn belt. But it's not Sasha's fault.
It's not Sasha's
Asuka's.
championship. No, it's not. She has essentially stolen it.
Right. And what did he do this week?
Go on.
New Raw Women's Champion.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks. And how was it done? By fucking count out.
Oh, dearie me. Throw back to Christian and Randy Orton.
Now, why do I
You
have
know how
an
well
issue with
that
this?
turned out.
Now, why do I have this issue with this? Because I could rant about Randy Orton, but this week, but I'm going to save that for next week.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know. Would you like to tell me, why do you have this issue? Because I think I have an idea, but I don't want to send you off down another ranting alley that may be entirely separate. So just tell me.
Right, Orton's is due to because of his current storyline at the moment. But anyway, that aside, that'll be for next week. Now, for Sasha Banks, what is more frustrating is the fact that you got Stephanie on the previous week. Yeah, Sasha, you can lose the championship, almost as if she's just fucking spoiled the ending of the following week's episode because she's mentioned Sasha's name and not fucking Asuka's, who was the actual rightful champion.
Yeah, or was.
Or now was. And
Yeah.
how was it done? In the exact way that Stephanie said that Sasha could lose the championship belt, even though it's not fucking hers.
Yeah. Suddenly,
Unless the only way they can recover this is if this is an elaborate plan from Stephanie McMahon to cost Asuka the match, and somehow Asuka gets to somehow have a... Oh, wait, no. Don't do that. Don't do that storyline.
Don't do that. Don't give them ideas. If you do, checks payable to the Burning Truth, but don't. Suddenly, one of the members of Indus Shirt accidentally Instagramming a picture that gave away an NXT match doesn't seem so bad when the boss is doing it deliberately.
Oh, by the way, speaking of an update on that as well.
Go on. See? Just shooting the breeze. I happened to mention that. I thought you might have something to say, but go on.
Correct, because you actually beat me to it. No punishments being handed out.
Honest mistake.
Why.
Fair enough.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Go on. Something tells me you have a suspicion. A suspicion.
Yes, we're going to tell you off for spoiling one of our big events. But when Stephanie does it, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Steph's done it, so we'll just gloss over that because we're not going to punish her. So it would be, even we can see it would be slightly counterproductive to punish you.
Yeah.
Oh, I've just Googled something and I've got a new contender for ugliest, most retarded championship ever.
Please reiterate the word.
Ugliest, most... Well, okay, how can I...
Diabolical?
I have no issue with anyone who has learning difficulties. That's a strange word. I don't know why my brain chose it, but that's not what I had in mind. Basically, biggest piece of gaudy tinfoil disaster. Again, it's the whole blank slate thing, like the WWE 24/7 Championship. Is that really the AEW Heavyweight Championship? That thing?
Which one?
I don't even know what to describe that shape as.
Would you kindly send it over?
Yes, just bear with me 1 second.
Ladies and gentlemen, in case you wonder why I'm saying send it over, it's not like we're in the same room, just to point out.
Oh, yeah, due to the wonders of technology, we are in many different rooms, many miles apart, and so I am simply now about to... I'm just frantically trying to edit the picture. Hold on.
You don't need to edit it.
No, I do, because I've taken it off the internet and it's just the top image from a popular search site, and I need to cut the rest of the image out, which I've now done, which means I can now do this. And it's on its way, ladies and gentlemen. The question is that the AEW Championship? Really?
I'm okay with that.
Did Chris Jericho take one look at that and not go, not on your life, mate?
Why do I get... I actually thought you were going to go for a far more funnier pun, actually.
Okay. I genuinely can't think what you're going to say, but I bet when you say it, I will Homer Simpson, like, oh, that's obvious. Go on, what?
I honestly thought you were pretty much going to say, is that the reason why Chris Jericho lost suddenly accidentally lost the championship, not actually in a match when he had it?
Yes, possibly. Thinking about that is very likely the reason. Because it was probably found, and somebody probably, Mr. Jericho, is this yours, this hideous bauble here? What? No, nothing to do with me, Garth. No, take it away.
So you're wondering if, the reason why the fan didn't keep it as well, he decided to give it back because he didn't want it.
Because he didn't want it besmirching his house either, no.
Personally, I'm fine with that championship belt.
I just, no.
It's got a bit of history with the big gold championship. And last but not least, before we actually go off the air, with the topics for this week, two things actually. One, originally we were meant to be doing Impact updates originally, but we're going to save that for another week at some point, where we're going to possibly discuss our thoughts of Impact Wrestling, which seem to be coming back to life a little bit.
Seems to be heading back in an upward trajectory again.
Which is good.
Another point I would like to mention, which is not really linked into that, but it kind of is because it's to do with the wrestling scene in general, is since Impact Wrestling has essentially, to all intents and purposes, all but died and is now coming back to life, can Ring of Honor come back to life? Because whatever happened to them? They seem to have faded into irrelevance, and I think that's sad.
I wouldn't say they've faded into relevance. I just feel
they kind of, basically what I'm saying is they do what they do. They have their fans. They're the fourth biggest company in America now. They would be. Do
you know why?
And they
whoa! I'm sorry. I've got to stop. I've got to stop you there. Okay. Do you know why they're currently not available to watch?
Why?
Because they're doing the smart thing and not going back to damn wrestling.
Not doing shows right now. No, I'm not saying that.
During a pandemic.
No, what I'm saying is, right now, and for the last 2 years or so, they're the fourth biggest company in America. Okay, the pandemic's come along and that just shoots everything out of the water. But what I mean is, they seem content to just do what they do and have the crowd they have. They're not going on a crazy TNA-style expansion, which is going to cost them, but they don't seem to be trying to expand at all. They just seem to have sort of found a niche and be happy to sit in it. And given the heights they went to in the past and the wrestlers that they uncovered, most of whom are now 70% of WWE's main roster, by the way, I think they could do more than they are. I think they could achieve and aim higher than they are currently. And I find that sad. That's all.
That's understandable. That's a valued opinion.
Yeah.
Notice what I used there, folks.
It is an opinion, yes. It is not necessarily accurate, factually correct, and I'm not claiming it is. It's just the opinion of me, one half of the Burning Truth.
Correct. And, ladies and gentlemen...
Not necessarily an opinion Matt Burns shares.
Yeah. I'm just trying to... Unfortunately, because of the sudden interruption, one of the original topics I was going to discuss is the final topic. It's just suddenly evaporated out of my mind.
Sorry.
Completely.
Hang on, let's just see if we can backtrack. We were talking about championships. We were talking about the resumption of the fortunes of Impact Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, it was championship belts.
That was it.
There we go.
There we go. I've got it. But anyway, let's just take this. We did cover in regards to Impact Wrestling. We're not going to at a later date. But going forward, we are going to be less topical as much as we can and speak more interesting about different things.
Yeah, just topics like the state of championship belt design. We could have like a 3-month running special about silly little things like entrance music, You
Gone
know,
wrong.
best pay-per-view ever, worst pay-per-view ever. Although, again, subjectively, only from our point of view. Entrance music, good and bad. Ring
Hang
gear.
on. I actually thought, for worst pay per view, I may have to go with the horror show at the moment. Because that's the one that's vividly stuck in my mind.
Really? Does it really? Out.
One of.
Oh my God, I can't believe I'm
of.
ECW December to Dismember 2005. Really?
WCW Bad Blood.
Yeah. WCW Sin 2000, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of content. See what I mean? We could talk about that. Best and worst pay-per-views.
A certain TNA / Impact Wrestling event that suddenly ended with the main event with less than 5 minutes.
Due to the state of one of the competitors. Yes, the list is long and undistinguished. So that's a topic we could definitely get our teeth into that may cover more than 1 week. But the point is...
And there's another discussion on the flip side.
Sorry, I'm talking over you now. Carry on.
No, another discussion in regards to the flip side of what I was referencing to. Matches that went above and, in a surprising way, hooked you in and made you want to feel, love wrestling on forever or again.
Matches that just you may possibly have gone into at the start when the bell rang, going, I'm going to be mildly entertained for 10 minutes here, and by the end you were on the edge of your seat going, damn it, this is why I love wrestling. That kind of
finish it, come on!
Yeah. I'll just give a brief example of that, one that just popped into my head when you said that. Velveteen Dream versus Aleister Black from NXT TakeOver a couple of years ago. Ooh. Went into that expecting nothing. Came away thinking potential match of the year contender.
Ooh, that's a good one. But anyway, we'll possibly have them in the future down the road. But as for what topic we're going to be covering next week...
Yep.
We'll shoot it off the breeze again for another week. And possibly, well, not shooting off the breeze. We haven't got it decided yet, but we'll have one planned.
We'll have something planned by this time next week, even if we only tell you about it when we start.
Yes. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is all the topics for this week. I'm going to go through the plugs very, very quickly. Which is, please check out...
I'm actually not going to interrupt this week. I mean, I already have, but I'm not going to interrupt again. Sorry, carry on.
No worries. Anyway, please check out UK Dubai, also known as UK Wrestling Alliance, for photography needs. Check out Tony Knox, Jessica Servo Photography, Kerry Swift Photography, and for videography needs, check out BA Productions, SW Video, and for charitable organisations, check out Change of Health and Wellbeing, Change of Recovery Radio, Mind, Message for Mind, Donna Louise Hospice Care for Children and Young People, Cancer Research UK. For the last side of professional wrestling, check out Botchamania. You're welcome, Matthew. WrestleCrap, you're welcome, R.D. Reynolds. Of course, OSW Review. You're welcome, OSW Review, lads. For all other podcasts and broadcasts, we recommend you check out Pull or Pass Radio Show. Don't Say the C Word, hosted by none other than Magic Mark Adams. We're the Independent, that's with an IE and not a Y. We're hosted by none other than Pineapple Pete, also known as Sugar Dunkerton. Of course, we also recommend you check out Think Wrestling, especially the Talk Wrestling interviews, which is hosted by a certain gentleman who shares a name with a certain, former Doctor Who actor named Tom Baker. And of course, we also recommend you check out Train Pop Culture. Always interesting. And of course, if you've got hatred built up, we also recommend you check out Hatred Theory, especially this week as they had a special guest on there as well. We of course also recommend you check out K-Fair Music. You won't know how good the music is. It's our intro. They've done our intro. Highly recommend them, especially with the amazing deals that they've got on, and they're also doing entrance videos for wrestlers, so be on the lookout for that. We of course also recommend you check out Turnbuckle TV, which is just for $3.99, almost £1 a week, where you've got plenty of wrestling, almost over 80 plus wrestling companies on there with shows, and we'll be gaining even more shows when we are currently out of this lockdown situation. And however, we'll be also having broadcasts on there as well. We of course also recommend you check out local wrestling promotions Case in point, like Future Championship Wrestling, United Wrestling, Pro Wrestling for You, Future Shock Wrestling, Academy Pro Wrestling, Fallen Star Wrestling, Venom Wrestling Federation, Slam Wrestling, Wolfman Pro Wrestling, and many, many more. And in case of I've actually missed any and we don't want to offend, we also recommend you check out Babyface Wrestling app, which is free, by the way. And you can also follow any of your favourite wrestlers and also favourite promotions. And you can also use an app on there that will search your local promotions in your area as well. So it's a handy, handy tool to find some local wrestling, which we always recommend you check out. And of course, we've also got the Burning Truth website, which is www.theburningtruthuk.com. Just to point out that on the links page, we cannot be held, for external links, as we cannot be held responsible for, as we have no control over them. We also recommend you check out our social media, which is Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, to listen to our current episode, past episodes, and everything for us. Check us out on the Burning Truth website, Spreaker, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Deezer, and other external, many, many other broadcast external sources. And that's a wrap up for this week in regards to the plugs.
Fantastic. That's a wrap up, therefore, for the show as well, for another week.
Actually, mental health.
Mental health is always important, but you haven't mentioned it yet, so...
We've always got to look out after our mental health, and as we have always stated, it is okay to be not okay, and asking for help isn't a weakness. You can end up finding out, finding out more people care for you than you never know, and to always never compare your behind the scenes to other people's greatest hits, quoted by Tom Campbell, Cultaholic. And of course,
wise words indeed.
And of course, another quote that I've always, an additional 2 quotes which I'll state out now, which is, make yourself a priority once in a while. It's not selfish, it's necessary. And of course, this one I probably even debuted last week is one that is getting stuck in my mind, especially recently, due to I've seen certain words of hatreds being spread around across some social media platforms, which I think hold up a little bit.
Overwhelmingly negative,
be nice.
And unnecessarily so.
I believe I actually saw this quote, and as soon as I saw it, it just stood out in my mind, which is, if you could be anything, be one thing, be kind.
Yeah. Be more kind.
No, just be kind.
Just be more kind. You can never be too kind.
Yeah. I just, because I just feel as though, just be kind to others. Be kind.
Yeah. I whenever you say that, I'm always tempted to quote the Frank Turner song lyrics, which he even named his album after. In a world that has decided that it's determined to lose its mind, be more kind, my friends. Be more kind.
I actually like that one.
Yes.
So with that, that is going to be a wrap-up for this week. So with all that being said, we, both of us from The Burning Truth, hope you all stay well, stay safe, and until the next episode, check out your local wrestling promotions on social media platforms. Of course, check out on your, immediate, family members you haven't spoken to in a while, friends, colleagues, and who knows, you can actually end up making their day. But until then, I've been Matt Burns.
I've been John Law.
And this has been The Burning Truth. So until next week, stay well, stay safe, and it's been emotional.
Ta-ta for now.